This is Crawford County Connect, the podcast that brings you closer to the heart of Crawford County. Brought to you by the Chamber and Development Council of Crawford County. Our mission is to foster connections, celebrate local stories, and explore the diverse tapestry of our region. From the rolling hills to the bustling streets, Crawford County is alive with history, culture, and the spirit of community. Whether you're a longtime resident, a newcomer, or simply curious about life in our corner of the Midwest, join us as we dive deep into the fabric of our county, uncovering the tales of its people, business, and organizations that make it thrive. Through engaging interviews, insightful discussions, and captivating narratives, Crawford County Connect will be your guide to understanding the past, navigating the present, and envisioning the future of our vibrant community. So sit back, tune in, and let's embark on this journey together as we connect, inspire, and empower one another through the stories of Crawford County, Iowa.
Hey folks, Paul Plumb here with the Chamber Development Council of Crawford County. Welcome to our podcast. Thanks for joining us. We are here today with Lorena Lopez, the owner of La Prensa newspaper. Lorena, how are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for us.
And welcome.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
So tell us about, you have a couple papers actually, the Prensa and Denison Free Press. Tell us about the La Prensa and the story behind that.
Well, La Prensa is bi-weekly newspaper. Is the translation from La Prensa is in English is the press. So La Prensa was founded in 2006. I started it with my older son, Carlos, and we started with 3 towns, Cairo, Denison, and Salt Lake, and now we are in more than 6 counties. We are in Des Moines, we are in Perry, Greene County, that is Jefferson, Cairo, Denison, Salt Lake, and Spencer. I'm mixing here between Spanish and English.
That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So what made you start La Prensa?
Well, when I came to live here, actually, I used to live in Cairo for 20-something years. Before I moved to Denison, I used to come to shop here for groceries that I cannot find in Cairo, right? So it was some Mexican store, and I noticed that the Latino population is starting to grow each time more here in Salt Lake. As a journalist, when you are a professional, you don't forget never what you do, right? And I was always looking for information in Spanish, and I saw that there was nothing there except once a month, the bulletin used to translate, Google Translate, 2 pages. And the translation was horrible because even they have bad words, like cousin words, you know. And
yeah, you can imagine what it was like. Even now, Google Translate screws it up sometimes. So 20 years ago, I imagine it wasn't very good at all. Yeah.
Yes. So we started La Prensa like that, and we grow. We are 19 years. We started in 2006. Our first edition was May 5 de Mayo.
Oh, nice.
And we are starting with the first La Prensa in the 5 de Mayo, and we are still in the market. We grow, and people like it. Mm-hmm. People look for La Prensa all the time.
Sure, and it's free paper, correct?
It's a free paper that is supported by advertising, and we are being very blessed newspaper because we still in the market. The newspaper industry, with all this revolution about social media, has been changed. A newspaper, journal, and we can see how many newspapers in the state has been closed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you mentioned you lived in Carroll for a while. What did you do when you worked there?
Have different jobs. Before I started in La Prensa, I worked like any other immigrants, to support the family. I used to work washing dishes in St. Anthony Hospital, and After that, people saw in me what I never saw in me. They say that I was a very caring person, and I should go for nursing, and I don't want to. I even didn't dream that I will practice my career, you know. So from the kitchen, I went to the nursing home, St. Anthony Nursing Home. They pay my nursing school. I studied in the nursing home as a CNA, and I went to the MAC, and I moved to LPM and RN, and La Prensa starting after, and that has been my passion.
Nice. I didn't realize you're an RN before.
Yes, I am.
Hearing that.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're an immigrant. Where did you come from? And tell me about what you did there.
I am from Nicaragua. Nicaragua is almost in the middle, the Central America. So I work as a journalist. I went to the school. I am from the north, a small town from Nicaragua that the name is Estelí. In the time that I finished high school, we didn't have university in Estelí. So we moved to Managua, to the capital, right? And there I went to La UCA, University of Central America. And I went to journalism for 6 years. I worked during the day to support my career. And in the night, I went to the university. And after that, I've been very blessed in my life. I studied right away, even before I finished the university, the 6th year. I studied in Sistema Sandinista de Televisión, Channel 6. What's the name? The channel that I started to work, and I worked there for 11 years before I came to the United States.
Very nice. So you say you were a journalist there. So on camera? It was a TV station, correct?
Yes.
And were you on camera too?
Yes. So I worked for the journalists in our countries that we don't have all the resources. You do every single thing there. You report. You are in the newsroom. You go out and do documentaries. So I started my career as a journalist doing documentaries. So I did a lot of documentaries that also participate in, I just don't know how to say this, and I think I am forgetting in English, but I participate in a video festival. Thank you, God. In video. Yeah, in a festival. And we won a lot of some awards.
Nice.
Yeah, in Channel 6. We participate with another Latin America countries.
Really?
Yeah.
So you mentioned, you had to do everything. So it's a lot like owning your own business, owning your own newspaper.
Exactly.
Right?
Only that you work for somebody else, and you put a lot of hours also.
Sure.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So tell me, you mentioned you have a pretty large area that La Prensa covers. How long did it take to grow to that? I guess did it start out? Was it very quickly, or did that just come over the last 20 years that you've been doing it?
No, La Prensa, how I mentioned before, is starting just with Kerro, Denison, and Salt Lake. And people from different towns, because we also went right away in web, and we put La Prensa in the website. And we connect. That was beautiful about La Prensa, that we connect communities in that time when Facebook didn't
very early
very
on,
strong,
not
yes.
even be
So we was that bridge between Latinos and Latinos. When we establish in one town, we also bring more Latinos to that town, and we extend to different towns to look for better opportunities. So La Prensa also extend to different towns because Latinos already knew with the years about La Prensa, and we started to grow because it was demand for the product, for the newspaper.
Nice. So tell me, what do you consider your biggest win with La Prensa? Tell me maybe one or two things that have happened that you've covered that you thought, boy, I'm really glad I'm doing this. This is exactly why I started this newspaper.
Education.
Yeah.
Education, the number one.
In what ways?
Every way. We immigrants come to United States without with documents or without documents. We came without know where are we going. We don't know the town. We don't know the culture. And La Prensa was and has been and will continue to be the instrument to educate, because every society, no matter if you are Latino or North American or Asian, no matter what culture you are from, education is number one to be able to integrate to the community. And I think La Prensa has been that vehicle, that transportation to educate Latinos, like about the city, about how churches work here, about how the school system work here. So La Prensa has been that bridge between Latinos and the community.
Yeah. That reminds me of when I at a previous job I used to travel. We would hire J1 visa and H2B visa students and H2B visa people, and so we hired enough at that location that we would actually, the company would pay us to go to another country to hire from there. So when you go to this other country and you don't know the language, don't know the customs, you feel very alone.
Yes.
And I was lucky enough to have somebody there that took me and knew the language and was my driver, and was very lucky to do that. So, but I could see, one of the first things I thought of when I got there was like, man, what am I doing here? I'm all alone and I don't know the language, don't know anything. So I know exactly what you're talking about there. And it's great that you're bridging that gap.
Thank you for sympathizing with us in that.
So tell me what you were running along doing La Prensa, and here a little over a year ago you decided to start the Denison Free Press. What brought that on?
When you love something, Paul, you just want to grow. And a couple of years ago, when the local paper, in that time, 2 years ago, to early 2023, the English-speaking population in the county saw the short of local news for their years and years, newspaper, the bulletin. I was covering a political activity with Gordon Wolf. Mm-hmm. And that was early, middle summer 2023. And we was in Bella Cera. And he received a phone call, and I saw we was next on each other, and I saw that he changed. And I asked what was going on, and he said he will tell me later on. And when we finished to cover the activity, he told me about, and I didn't have money to hire him. I respect Gordon because everybody see Gordon everywhere. He is a very good journalist, and they was
very well known in the community.
Very known, yeah. And they was the bulletin was letting him go, almost obligating him, or he retired, or they will letting him go. And if he didn't go, he told me he will cover more counties. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have money, and I didn't sleep that afternoon, and I cannot afford Gordon economic. So I talked with another colleague that is studying Western Iowa Journalist Foundation. And I told him, I need your help. I need to bring Gordon to work with me. And that time, the idea was that he will be working with La Prensa, and I will translate, whatever reporting that I will translate it to Spanish. But God work the different. I believe in that. God work different way. And the same week, when my colleague and he got together with Gordon and the foundation, Journalist Foundation, I asked for money to study a newspaper. I say, Denison deserve a newspaper. And I remember how, and that sounds very like soap opera, but this is the honestly true. I remember at that time how hard was for me don't have news in Spanish. So I said, Denison is receiving just other towns news, but no, the county news. And Western Iowa Journalist Foundation helped me with the first $25,000 to starting with Gordon. And after then, I hear about them that he was quitting because they was giving him more work. So I want them,
Sure.
and the thing. And God is great. God is great. And I bring both, and we are starting the Denison Free Press newspaper that in the beginning was free. And I started going to work exactly the same like La Prensa, supporting by advertising. But the truth was that we didn't have so much support,
Sure.
And I started subscription. And yeah.
Nice. So you've been doing a subscription, 6 months now or so? Is that about?
We started our first subscription come out in September 9 last year, 2024.
Nice. And still selling subscriptions now, correct?
Say that again.
You're still open to.
We hope increase because look, we are starting with $89.99 per year. It's more the almost 100,000 just in paid reporting. Subscription is not enough. La Prensa has been supporting the Denison Free Press, and we need to increase more. That way, we are able to break even.
Sure.
Yes.
So what's the best way that somebody could start a subscription with you?
Just calling us or go online and subscribe online. Right now, the subscription online is $115. It's not expensive for all the expenses that we have. Just a printer. I have been very open with all this situation. Of course, it's a business, Paul.
Yep.
But it's not working as a business right now. It's not work. It's a lot of loss there, and our doors are open for any person that want to come and see it.
Definitely in the startup phase still. Of your business.
We are in that
Denison Free
startup.
Press. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in when they subscribe, is it weekly, bi-weekly, twice a month? What do you do there on the Denison Free Press?
La Prensa, Denison Free Press is a weekly. Every Thursday come out. It's a weekly pay-in. We are 100%, no 90, no 99. We are 100% local. Crawford County, no Denison. Crawford County.
Great.
Local news.
Sure. And doing a great job with that, by the way. I mean, you obviously have people working with you that are a lot of experience there, know the area, know all the communities, and very hardworking. I seen it firsthand. I don't know if people know that here recently, within the last year, you've moved to our Ignite space. Tell me your experience there.
Well, we love it. We love it because, we are still in that, first of all, the rent is excellent. Every single thing included. And for the newspaper like ours, both is affordable to be here. And we have a great environment. I am not the person who understands 100% technology. I didn't went to a school with the technology. I didn't grow up with technology. And I have all here because if I need help, you, Paul, and Mariah help us a lot. You guys just come. If I have some questions, you come and you help me. And that is great. It's great that we have that. And I will recommend to any other business that want to start a business, come and develop it here in the basement of the Chamber of Commerce. Sometimes it's kind of cold, but
we're working on that.
We are working in that. Yes.
Yeah. But the Ignite space, for those who don't know, it's incubator space right here at the Chamber at 109 North Main. And thank you for the kind comments, Lorena. We didn't talk about that going in, but
we appreciate you. We appreciate.
Well, we appreciate you being there, and we appreciate you being our guinea pig, quote unquote, to be the first ones down here and work through some of those problems that obviously with the new space are always going to come up. So, and thank you for your patience in letting us work on those.
Thank you.
But like you said, it is a space where people can come and work for the day, for the week, or rent by the month. So but we'll plug that another day too. But once again, thanks for the kind comments. Since you've been in Crawford County now, 20 years? You said something, or even more than that.
I lived 26 years in Cairo, and I am having owned a house, in Denison for 7 years.
Nice.
But before, to me, Crawford, Denison is my home because, remember, Cairo didn't have too many Latinos in that time. I was the first family in Cairo. Yes, my 3 kids and me, I was the first family in Cairo. And I come here to feel in culture, because Denison have a lot of Latinos in that time. So almost every day I was here in Denison.
So did your kids, how many kids you have?
I have 3 boys. One, the older one, Carlos, that he's 40, and his family, he have 2 kids, Evelyn and Sebastian, and his wife, Melinda. I have Nauk, Arguello, and Carlos and Nauk Arguello. And Nauk is in Beol, and he have 2 kids, and one is coming in the way, and
nice.
With his wife, Heather. And Justin is the baby one, 29 years old. He's getting ready to marry, and he worked for Kia in Des Moines, and he live in new development there, close to Inky.
Very nice, very nice. And so I was going to. Did they all graduate from Carroll schools?
All they graduate from Carroll. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So what's speaking of Crawford County? What's your favorite thing about Crawford County?
The diversity. I love the diversity. We can have difference in some stuff, but we get along. Same always. We get along very good, and we work one each other for the good of the community. That is my favorite part. That I feel in home. I don't have that feeling that you was talking in the beginning when you went to a foreign country to get people, to come here. Yeah, you are right. You feel lonely. And here you don't, because we are a friendly community and we help one each other.
Sure. So you talked about being from Nicaragua. Did you get a chance to go back there at all? And what are the differences there between Iowa and Nicaragua?
The food.
So what's your favorite food that you miss from Nicaragua?
I don't miss. Juice. No food, because I cook every single thing that we eat over there. We love gallo pinto, and gallo pinto is beans mixed with rice. It's so good, and a lot of onions and all. But what I miss is because we are a tropical country, and we have a lot of vegetables, and we have a lot of fruits. So the juice in the morning, the natural juice, I sometimes even my stomach feel like, oh, it will be good to have to go to the patio and cut some oranges and make a orange juice, right? Yeah, I think it's the juice, the natural juices. Yes.
Very nice. So we've talked a little bit about this podcast area here, and you've expressed interest in starting your own podcast. What do you want to do with that, and what do you want to cover in your podcast?
I would like to start in. Thank you for the question. I would like to start in Spanish first. Spanish is my first language, and I would like to start something in Spanish, but also I would like to do something in English in the future. And the first thing I would like to, in Spanish, I would like to be a podcast extension of La Prensa. You understand what I say?
Yeah.
And I think that it's very, very important to continue with education, because the mission of La Prensa has been educate our community in how we can integrate ourselves to whatever, no matter if we live here in Denison or we live in Des Moines or we live in Storm Lake. I think podcast is a very fast way to transmit the message and educate, and it's great that we have it right here in the basement of the Chamber of Commerce, next to La Prensa and Denison Free Press. You cannot beat that promotion, Paul.
Why not, right? So that's great. What are your favorite things about being a business owner?
Favorite thing.
And I know sometimes it's very hard to
I just need to it's scared, but my favorite thing is the interaction with people. You forget that you are a business owner. I forget that I am.
Yeah.
I even, when I introduce myself, I even don't say, oh, I own no. I prefer other people say it. I just work. I just work for what I do because I like it. I love it. It was La Prensa. It was still in some way a business. Okay. The has been helping me a lot to support Denison Free Press. The profit that with the years La Prensa did. Right now, newspapers are dying. The industry of newspaper, because social media is taking business, not just newspaper, but business in general away. I just love to work. I don't see myself like I am only a business. I love what I do, and I will continue doing it until, be there and be. I have to say this. Please give me opportunity to say this. I am very grateful with Western Iowa Journalist Foundation, because they work very hard to get people that can donate money for the newspapers. And Gordon and Dan has been paid for the collaboration, for the all these people who has been donating some money for their pay. Denison Free Press is not business yet. I don't get paid. Denison Free Press don't have profit. And I invite people because sometimes, some stuff there, some comments there that instead to motivate us is putting us sometimes just for seconds down. But I invite any person that want to come and see how we function, our books are open for that.
Yeah. And being in business, sometimes people who haven't been in business, they don't realize, talking about, like we talked earlier, so many different hats you wear. You know, you're going out, in your instance, you're going out and doing interviews, you're writing the stories, you're putting it all together, you know, and making that happen there on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. You know, there's a lot on your plate to do that. And
It is.
And, you know, with just a small staff like that, one person gets sick for a couple of days, you know, totally disrupts the whole thing, and you have to, you know, cover that, or someone has to cover that and make that happen. So, you know, very aware of what that. And I think, you know, I guess speaking of that, you know, talking about business, if there was immigrants out there listening to this who have that entrepreneurial spirit, you know, they're thinking, boy, I think I could start that business. I think I could, you know, I have that dream. What would be your recommendation? Your first steps in doing that?
Starting any business,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
the passion, the love. Don't see it as a business in the beginning. See something that you can see yourself projected and how much you can give to others and how much you can help to others. I think for me has been the most motivation every morning to how I can give myself to others, and it's different ways. So starting a business, not that you're going to it's a business owner and have this big title. No, it's in the way that you get up in the morning and you will have that attitude to go to work towards something that you love and that you know your job also will help somebody else. To me, is that will be my recommendation.
Perfect. You know, it's been said often. You know, you serve others, the money will follow. So, you know, that's a thing to remember. So, and anything we haven't mentioned that you want to talk about, Lorena?
I would like to say to my Latino community, thank you. Thank you for support La Prensa. I will love reading La Prensa and making La Prensa part of it, of the table conversation during family is eating dinner. I would like to say my English speaking community, thank you so much for supporting La Prensa with your beautiful comments since the edition number 1 that we have. And also thank you because without the 640 subscribers that we have, probably if we will not have those subscribers, probably we will not be exist. I ask you, if you value, please, in the local newspaper with local news, please help us to become a subscriber. Each subscriber help to support two great journalists, Gordon and then in La Prensa we all continue supporting the printer and the other Spencer. It's just we need, our small community need local newspaper. We cannot relate just in social media. But in general, thank you. Thank you to all those subscribers that came to help us to keep in life Denison Free Press.
That's a great thing to say. That's you know, I think you've definitely become a huge part of the community. One thing we didn't talk about, I wanted to, and maybe we'll plug this back in and edit, but you are on a board member of the Chamber and Development Council. And yeah, tell us about that experience maybe, and what got you started there, and that how has that commitment been? You know, another way that you're volunteering in the community. It's definitely not a paid position, but tell us about that.
it's very rewarding situation because you learn to know more close about business and the opportunities that are there for all the business and all the work that the chambers do to help business to grow and educate business and how starting a business. So for me, it has been a fantastic learning opportunity and help opportunity to help another people, another business. It's a great board, and everybody work toward the best of the community.
I agree. We do have a really strong board, and that we couldn't do our jobs without them and without their help. So thank you, Lorena, for what you do not only in the community but with the newspapers, and you really, like you said, it is a big part of not only Denison but Crawford County. So thank you again for what you do. Thanks for being here today. We appreciate you. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, we look forward to what you have to do in future podcasts that you're going to do. So thanks again. Thanks, folks, for being with us today. Once again, Chamber Development Council of Crawford County, thanks for joining us, and have a great week.
As we wrap up another episode of Crawford County Connect, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our listeners for joining us on this exploration of our vibrant community. We hope that you've enjoyed the stories, insights, and connections shared today. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. Stay connected with us on social media and visit our website at www.cdcia.org. From there, you can stay updated on upcoming episodes, events, and opportunities to engage further with Crawford County. We also want to extend a special thank you to the Chamber and Development Council of Crawford County for their support in making this podcast possible.